FYI, neighbours are doing maintenance on their garden, so if you hear a bunch of noise in the background, I'm sorry, I tried to put this off, they just keep on going. But welcome back to another installment of Matt's a little bit ignorant and he saw an ELF live video and they didn't talk about some of the players he wanted them to talk about, and no one asked him to make a top 5, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is kind of just going to be off the dome. I'm not really going to be coming at you with a lot of stats and detailed evaluation, but this is my top 5 receivers for the preseason. I don't know how some of these guys weren't mentioned on the ELF podcast, and I'm also a little bit surprised that certain players were mentioned on the ELF podcast, so we're going to be completely real. Honourable mention, Yannick Meyer is the best Austrian receiver, Harlan Kofi is the best German receiver, Jordan Bill is the best Italian receiver. At this point, probably Tommy Wilson's the best British receiver. Spanish, you could probably argue with Flores Calderon being Spanish, but he's also Italian. Mario Flores also in that discussion. As for American honourable mentions, Jarvis McClam has to be mentioned. He probably missed out. He's probably my 6th receiver, to be completely honest, but he won't be featuring on the top 5. Calvin McKnight is going to be electric for the right 5. Got Aaron Jackson, Austin Mitchell, William Patterson, and of course Robitaille, who was number 1 on Silas's one, but will not feature on my one. Spoiler alert. But enough with the rambling. Let's just get on to my top 5. At number 5, I have Connor Weddington. Connor Weddington's going under the radar because he plays for Cologne and probably won't light up the stat sheet, but he's a former Stanford receiver who performed very well in college, got into the NFL through practice squads and whatnot. I don't have the stats, but I think it was like once that he found the end zone. So that's the blemish. But he is an excellent receiver. He's fast, he's lengthy, he has a great catch radius, he has great contact balance, he can go and get the ball high. But I don't know why he's not getting talked about enough. I think it probably is because he plays for Cologne and but not the best team. They don't have the best O-line, they don't have the best quarterback in the league. But he is certainly one of the receivers that deserves a lot more respect on his name. At number 4, Antti Mahonwu was very high on everyone's list. Of course, he's the best European receiver there is. The French receiver, played for Purdue. A lot of people forget that he played in D1 University and played really well, and then went to the Eagles, the practice squad. People forget about that. He was also the best European receiver last year. Has an argument for being one of the best receivers in the league. He's phenomenal. He's lengthy. He can catch fucking anything. He's the best European receiver we have, and arguably, I know some people are going to disagree, he might be one of the best receivers we've ever had in Europe. He's phenomenal. So Antti Mahonwu is going to take my number 4 spot. Of course, he's going to go to Paris this year, going back to his home country, which is excellent for him, and that's going to be a massive, massive weapon. At number 3, Darrell Stewart Jr. He is at the surge, came in as a late replacement. Absolutely fucking lit the world on fire for his playoff stretch. Was the best playoff stretch we've ever had. He was absolutely phenomenal. He's uber athletic, went to Michigan State, is a fucking freak. So fast, so agile, great hands. Like, he's Darrell Stewart Jr. People have argued he's number 1. Fair, honestly. Like, he is that good that he could be number 1. This top 3, I went quite a lot with where I had certain players and where I wanted to. I think I changed this graphic like 6 or 7 times. But for me, Darrell Stewart is going to remain at number 3 just about. Just need to see a little bit more of the sample size. You know, he came in late. How does he deal with a full season? That's kind of what I want to see. But I have no doubt that he's going to be phenomenal. And yeah, another player that I'm a really big fan of his tape. Number 2, another one that I think is going to surprise a lot of people. Kind of surprised me that they put him as number 2, but I kind of agreed in a way. Is Markel Castle, of course, has joined the Frankfurt Galaxy this year. People have theorized that he might lower in stats, but still be one of the best receivers. I don't think that's true. I do think he'll lower his stats, don't get me wrong. Like 1,500 yards he had last season is so ridiculous, it's hard to replicate. But Luke throws that ball like 50 fucking times a game. So if he doesn't get elite production, then I don't know who will. He's also already got that connection with Luke, because they played together in Milan. Markel is fucking excellent. Another player that's like hit his prime at the right time in Europe. He's a deep guy, he can take short, he's fucking freaky athletic, and I've kind of used that a lot of these evaluating terms for the same players, but they kind of are a similar build. Like, a lot of these guys are X's. Like, that's all of them actually so far. Probably X receivers on the outside that can come and get the ball. Markel is one of the best at doing that. He can also extend plays. He can run out to the ball. He is physical. He's aggressive at the catch point. Markel's number 2. Might be a bit of a surprise to some people, I think. At number 1 is Matt Cole. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about that, because a lot of people don't know about Matt Cole. He played legit games in the NFL. Like, I don't know why people aren't talking about him. He bounced around practice squads for a few years, played for the 49ers on special teams. Why the fuck is he not being talked about enough? I don't know. He was at a small university. He's fast, he's quick, he can go on special teams. He's probably the only guy I would consider maybe not an X, because he can come into the slot and he can perform there. He can go outside, absolutely. For me, Roquel have lost Tony Tate and they've brought in Tony Tate like 2.0. Like, he's the same level, in my opinion, as Tony Tate, and I think he's going to light the league on fire. One of my Sky mentors says you got to kind of make predictions and say fuck it and hope to God you're fucking right. This is one of those projections that I hope I'm right. Steven Duncan's going to be slinging that rock, and I think that Matt Cole is going to be his #1 receiver, because there is such a big gap between Matt Cole and some of the other Polish receivers. The other Polish receivers, don't get me wrong, are dogs, but Matt Cole is just a level above everyone else on that team. They're also going to be running the ball a lot, and I think that he's going to be able to exploit that, because he can go over deep and get on the top and create separation. So lots of play action passes, and then with Duncan's huge arm, he's just going to be able to lob it deep over him. I think we're going to see a lot of that happening. And that's going to round out our top 5. Matt Cole at 1, number 2, Markel Castle, number 3, Darryl Stewart Jr., number 4, Anthony Mahonu, number 5, Connor Weddington. That's my list. That's what I'm going to stick with. That's my prediction. Might blow up in my face later in the year if they don't kind of perform as well as I projected them to perform, but I think that all of these guys could potentially go over 1,000 yards, honestly. Like, they're that fucking good. I think some of them will struggle with lackluster quarterback play or having other receivers in their team that are also excellent and will take a few of their targets, but fuck it. What's scouting without projections, right? It's all fun. This might blow up my face. I might clip it and use it as another video. It's just content in it, so much appreciated. This one was going to be quick, so I just wanted to get it out. I'm going to have a podcast soon with Jamal for the insiders, so make sure you tune in for that one. I am on 999 subscribers. By the time this one comes out, I might be on 1,000, so that means one thing: the 1,000 player stream. That's what we're going to do. I'll set the rules out when I actually start the stream, but that will be coming at some point this week when I hit 1,000 subscribers, of course, which is projected to be today or tomorrow, hopefully today. But yeah, thank you everyone who has subscribed to me. It means a lot. Like, 1,000 is insane. I know a lot of those come from like my old MMA videos. A lot of people have like been like, "Why have you got 1,000 subscribers? You're like 30 videos," and that's because I used to make MMA stuff back in the days of COVID. So that's definitely boosted it. So it's a little bit fraudulent, but I'm gonna take it as it was hard work. So thank you everyone who's tuned in. Hopefully my neighbour's work wasn't too bad in the background. But yeah. If any of the receivers disagree, feel free to message me. If any people think that I should do a top 5 receivers that are European, I'd happily do that. Spoiler alert, Anthony Mahomes is probably going to be #1. But thank you very much. See you later. Hope you have a good day.